Hey everyone, welcome to another recap chat. This is Irene, CBiz Media, Faith, Love, and Trends. We're talking 90 Day Fiance here. And you guys know 90 Day Fiance is a reality show that follows couples. One person's from the US, the other from another country. We get to see their relationship ups and downs, along with them dealing with long distances, language barriers, cultural boundaries, all of these things, plus trying to legally be married, the legal ramifications of marrying outside of the country, getting that K1 visa. Yes, it's 90 Day Fiance. All right, we're wrapping this season up. Maddie and Stevie, we start with them, and it picks back up where they left off, where they were in bed and they were arguing, and they weren't fully arguing, but he asked that question again about her sexuality, and she's sitting there in tears, in bed in tears. They only got one day to get this thing right because they're getting married the next day. So the bisexual situation comes up again. He says, "It's the last time I'm going to ask you because I never really got a clear-cut answer." Well, she apologizes for being defensive and not really answering the way she should have, but she continues to say no, she's not bisexual. Why is she crying is my question. Why is she still crying if it's not an issue? Um, he felt lonely in all of this situation. I guess she said she felt bad that he thought of her that way, but I don't see why inquiring about your sexuality would hurt you. I'm sorry, especially if you're not what is thought, then why are you crying about it? That's why I'm not sure she's still in tears. But he felt lonely in this whole situation because I guess he felt shut out by her answers and by her putting that wall up for some reason. It felt like it was a reason beyond her just not being able to deal with the question at the time or something like that. It's not really clear. She says she's not perfect. She does apologize for being selfish, but she needs him and she just keeps begging him to never leave her. And he says, okay. She says, we're both stubborn. That's one of our issues. But she says she's not into girls or men, only him. So that just seems a little weird to me. You're not into girls or men? He was like, what about before me? And she said no. He's really trying to make sure that she doesn't have that appetite before he gets married, because I guess he doesn't know how to handle that. And it's fair, everybody wouldn't be able to handle somebody that may be bisexual. um I still have questions. Anyway, they wake up the next day together. They look like they had a good rested night together. And he said he's satisfied with her answers. She's thankful that he showed her grace, and she kind of does a joke because Saeed is there now, so he's gonna go meet Saeed, and she's like, "Give him a message for me that no, I'm not trying to trap you, and no, I'm not bisexual. You gotta give him that message for me." I guess jokingly. Now she's questioning her dress, the dress that she originally got, because I remember how he said her dress with the flowers looked like an old lady. He had no qualms. He just straight up told her how he felt. He was not sensitive with her feelings at all when it came to that dress. And her friends arrived to help her, and they did bring the new dress that she ordered. So we'll see how that's gonna go because she hasn't tried it on yet, and the wedding is tomorrow. So now Saeed is talking with Maddie, and he's feeling good about everything. But Saeed turns that narrative right around. He's asking, "Are you really feeling good? I mean, she said no before that she's not bisexual. What's the difference this time? I just got to make sure my friend is good." Well, he said, "No, I'm happy now." But Saeed still wants to have one more confrontation with Stevie, one more chat, I'll say, but it feels confrontationist to me. Um, is he overstepping? To me, I think he may be a bit. I know that Maddie may seem a little bit as if he might need a defender, but I feel like he stood his ground enough. I mean, he asked her a number of times. I mean, what more can he do in order to find out the truth? I don't, and sometimes it felt a bit harsh, but it wasn't very harsh. If you love somebody, you're not going to come to them hard like that. But I kind of think Saeed may be overstepping his place. He's not a direct family member. I know he's trying to help his friend, but it's like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Now let's get to Sarper and Shekinah. They pick up where they left off at the cafe confrontation, where she finally finds him at the cafe when he's supposed to be going with her to their wedding venue. And he's like, well, how did you find me? And she tells him about the air tag. And she said, no, it's not about tracking you, but your keys. And he's like, were you tracking me the whole time? Because she gave him that keychain right when he got there. So he's saying, she has trust issues, and why would you marry somebody if you can't trust them? Sarper, are you running from this situation? Are you running from this marriage? The prenup comes up, and she's like, well, do you want to leave and go back to Turkey? And there was a bit of a pause, but he said no. He feels like he does have to do it. He said, we have to do it, I think. And she's like, well, I don't want you to feel like you have to do it. I want you to want this. In his head and mind, he says he still needs more time, but there really is no more time. And so they're on the way to this wedding venue. Guess they are doing this, but they're stressed the whole time. Sarper still has cold feet. And he says he's making this choice for her to be with her. It's not really to be married, but to be with her. And this is like the only way he can be with her. So that's why he's making the choice to marry. Still, he's going through PTSD from his previous marriage years ago. So he's scared that it's going to turn out somewhat similar. So their first time seeing the wedding venue, which is basically a bedroom, because they said it's a nice suite. It's not just a bedroom, but they were not lying when they said they were going to get married in the bed, with just them two. So the first time seeing the room, she says the room looks worn out. The pictures look better online. He keeps telling her it's good and tries to comfort her. She whimpers. He says, we're together. That's the most important thing. I thought it was sweet and comforting, but she kept crying, and that made him even more upset. So he kind of gives up at that time as far as comforting goes. I think it's her friend and possibly her wedding planner comes in and kind of gives her some ideas. It's a big, beautiful chandelier, but it's not in the bedroom, which is where she wanted it. So their idea is to move the bed out into that area where the chandelier is, and she kind of is feeling a lot better about the scenario now, and she has some hope. I believe she's her wedding planner / friend is going to be helping her with the other decor, so there's hope there. Her name is Courtney. She says she works her magic, so now there's hope. So now they have to beautify themselves before the wedding. And we have Sarper here kind of looking like the Green Giant. She's got some green mask on him. And then she's pulling out all these gadgets for her face, her neck. She's like, this is for my double chin. She's like strapping herself up to all these things to be beautiful. And he's calling her Inspector Gadget. It was a funny moment. And he said, well, as far as he goes, she's doing a bunch of stuff to him too. So he's like, she's going to create him to be the best husband ever. She's like a mad scientist. Yeah, she's just like Dr. Frankenstein. And Sarper, you must be Frankenstein. As far as the room goes, I didn't like the headboard, the color of the headboard, the look of it. Maybe they can work on that as well. But right now, they're having fun, like doing all of this mad scientist beautification things to themselves. And he's like my best friend because he's like into all this stuff, which I'm pretty sure most guys wouldn't be. But she says it feels good. They're like besties, and it's kind of weird and funny at the same time. And now they're gonna go to sleep with all these contraptions wrapped around them. A good night, and hopefully good wedding in the morning. All right, now we have Ani, Matt, and Amani, the best throuple ever, or not. Um, so they had a happy, fun introduction to the family, even though it was stressful at first, but now the families accepted them, so everyone's happy. They're out there playing in the field. I'm not sure what the heck they're doing, kissing on a swing. They go to a winery, they go to a church, and they talk in the church. And, I'm wondering if God wants them in the. No, I'm just joking. God brings everyone in the church. I mean, I've said it's like a hospital. Anyway, God welcomes anyone, and that's why I really love God, because He's accepting of us all. And He's accepting of us, especially if we're willing to work on who we are. I'll say that. We have to be open minded to work on ourselves. That's a side note, just getting my little bit of my faith in there. Not sure if this even connects with these three, but anyway, now Ani has to choose who she'll marry, because according to the church, not just the church, but the world generally, you can't marry three people. She has to pick one. So, Ani, who do you want to marry? Whose name's going to be on the visa? Do you want a church wedding? We can have 3 different cultural weddings. So all of these things come up. And Amani's like, hey, I don't want you to feel any pressure. You could choose whoever you want, but please choose me. She has this whole spiel pulled out. And, they previously, her and Matt had a Vegas wedding. So she's like, I want to pull off the stops in this wedding, and I want to be the bride in this wedding, and 2 bride wedding, and all of this she wants, right? And Matt does his little Ani love speech and just talks about how he loves and cares about her. And kind of everything they went through, but they love each other. So they both kind of do their spiel, like, which one do you want to marry? And Ani's like, well, Amani does say, marry me. And she says this is the time where she can be her true self. She gets to, I guess, in a way, come out for everyone in this really big way. Marry me. That's Amani. But hey, Ani, she never plays by the rules. She's going to choose Matt. She's never going to give Amani what she wants. Amani wants this throuple. She wants to be, to me, I feel like, validated by another woman. I feel like that's a problem if you feel like you need another person to validate you, whether it is a man or a woman. You should have enough within you to feel validated. My faith helps me feel validated as well, my connection with God. But I feel like you need to have some type of validation on your own versus hoping that this other person will do so. She has a good husband there. He's not enough validation for her. She needs this woman to validate her. But Ani's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I think we need a man to protect our family. So I'm going to choose Matt because he's going to be our protector. Okay, it kind of makes sense, but Ani's mad. And Ani basically is just stealing her husband right from underneath her. Hey, he divorced you just so he can marry the third throuple lady, and you're really gonna be the third wheel, my friend, if any wheel at all. Honestly, Matt is in for it. The 3 of them at this moment in time are like, hey, we're gonna do this marriage thing. I think they have another room that they're staying in together. But Matt's in for it. He's got him 2 women. Maybe it's double the pleasure, but it's gonna be double the pain. Because these 2 both have strong personalities, and they kind of make everything all about them. But he's gonna see in a moment. Amani's not gonna let him down when it comes to that. Amani does say, she feels like her heart's been stabbed, but right at this time, she's acting happy. We're about to get married, the 3 of us, but really just my husband and another woman. Anyway, Ani is thinking about all the plans they need to make. But she says, marriage is just for the paperwork. It's not that I love him more. Um, but she's Amani's pulling out all the stops, celebrating them, bringing them drinks and cake, and they're bonding in the hot tub area. They haven't gotten into the hot tub yet, so but they all end up going back out and having cake, like a celebratory thing. But to me, the two married to be seem like they're bonding without Amani, which they did the first night when they slept together without her. I'm like, come on, don't you see the pattern, Amani? So Ani asked a great question. Amani, do you agree with my decision? And she compares it to getting a B on your final. I studied and still I get a B. More like an F. I mean, if I got a B, I can live with the B. I don't know if I can live with another woman marrying my husband, but anyway, Ani, it's like, I showed you that I like you, but you're too much stress. You want to be the boss and control everything. He's more rational, and she's explosive. She may kick me and my daughter out at any time. I mean, Ani, you got points on points on points with Amani. She is a lot. And she wants to feel validated. She's putting too much on you, Ani. I mean, to me, I couldn't be in a relationship where the person puts too much on me, where I have to fulfill all of the dreams that they've ever had when it comes to their sexuality, when it comes to validation. Like, I feel like it's too much. Matt says, "Hey, don't make me feel divided," because Amani starts saying, "Well, you chose him instead," and kind of being upset about it. He's like, "Hey, don't make me feel divided. I love you both." And Amani's still like, "Why not me? Maybe she loves him more. Maybe they'll be married and kick me out of the picture. Very possible, especially if they're legally married. Or maybe she just doesn't want to have a long-term relationship with the woman. What is her hang up? What's wrong with you, Ani?" Well, there's a lot wrong with you, Amani. I mean, to me, it's just the validation. You're putting too much on this woman to be your completion of yourself when you need to just work on completing yourself, even beyond your own husband. You need to have some completion for yourself and validation for yourself at the end of the day. Now on to our next throuple, Greg, Joan, and Mom Lucille. Maybe Lucille and Amani can both bond over being left out. No, I'm joking. Not a throuple here, but Greg and Joan, they're about to start their life together, hopefully leaving Mom behind as far as her house anyway, but never in their hearts. They're always going to be hanging out with Mom, connecting with Mom. I'll say from time to time. Joan's not going to do it always. No, she won't. But Greg was making such a big deal that he's a horrible man because he got the wrong timing on the wedding invitations, and Joan's gonna hate him. How is he gonna be a good husband, and what's gonna happen to their future? Oh no. So Mom's like, you know what? I'm just gonna call everyone. Mom has a level head. Moms fix everything, don't they? She calls everyone to help fix the wedding timing and tell them to come a bit earlier. And she's talking to everyone for like 10 to 15 minutes, and there's like 80 people. So Greg is complaining about her taking too long, having these long conversations with each person. I'm like, well, Mr. Greg, why don't you help, even though you're the groom? This is your mistake anyway. Why don't you help Mom if you have so much to complain about? So Joan gets her makeup and hair complete. She looks beautiful, but she's nervous. Laura, Greg's friend, is her, I think is her maid of honor. And now they're friends as well. So she helps her get her dress on after this point, after she's got all of her hair and makeup done. And everybody's preparing. Mom's at home, and Greg, they're preparing, getting dressed. But there's nerves everywhere. Joan's got the nerves, Greg's got the nerves. I'm sure Mom's got a little nerves too. But it's a little mom and son bonding moment before they leave for the wedding. And they kind of give each other a hug. And it's like, "You're a great mom. You taught me how to be a good person." So that was a nice moment. Joan is picked up in a classic car. And once you get into the venue, the guest cards are in front. So it's like you have to find your name, pick up your card. And you can, I guess you get to choose the table that you want. I kind of like that idea versus already having assigned seats. It's too much work. Just let people sit where they want to sit. I mean, but the nice cards make a nice little touch for it. And you can put your name on the table and people know where everybody's sitting. And you know not to sit at that table if you don't like that person's name card right there. Anyway, the people start showing up around 6. And Greg is relieved because everybody's showing up earlier, enough time for her to come out at 6:30. I like the fact they have the wedding and the reception in one. They have a whole section where they're going to do the wedding, and the reception is still in the same room with the tables and everything. It was a nice spot and a nice idea. His dad walks Joan down the aisle. His friend Dan is the officiant. And they both have some nice vows. I think Greg rushed through his vows. I think he was pretty nervous, but Joan had some really good vows for him. She showed him a whole lot of love. Even in his failings, I guess she said he proved himself, especially after he got that job. And she said he just would do anything to just put a smile on her face. And she's happy to take this new role as his wife. It was really nice. I can see the love between them. Nobody can say that she's using him for a green card because I can see the love between these guys. They have a few little sweet kisses, Everybody's waiting for that kiss, and they don't do, the big old deep kissing that sometimes we see at weddings where everybody's screaming. They do a few little pecks, and it was nice, a nice little kiss for a wedding. They're happy, and that's what's important. Mom is proud. She said she didn't think he would get married, much less this soon. It's kind of messed up that she said she didn't think he would get married. I don't know if she meant it that way. And maybe it's not messed up because you don't have to get married for happiness. I'm not married. You can find your happy in other ways. I'm still working on that, but yeah, I mean, it's okay if you don't get married. Now she's saying, will they leave my house right away? I don't think they will, but he's off her hands now, and he's on Joan's hands. I wouldn't mind following them to see how soon they get out of Lucille's house. I like this is definitely a little sitcom reality show thing going that, I would follow them. I like all the people that are involved. Joan gives you a little pushback, but in the end of the day, she's about love. Lucille, she's the mother-in-law that wants to be loved, and she gets a little offended at times. And then Greg is just like the lovable husband in the middle and son, and just trying to hold it all together. This is a sitcom, guys, a TLC sitcom. So if you guys keep them on, I'd like to keep up with them, but also I guess I could keep up with them on socials as well. I mean, they could do their own show, start their own YouTube channel, seriously. I mean, if they wanted to, it could happen. All right, enough of them. Happily ever after for them. I think that's the only wedding of the night. Everybody else is prepping and getting ready for that moment. Mina and Mark, though, they're at the venue, and he's consoling her there because she is not able to bring her son up as she had planned. And for his inability to join the wedding, he's like really asking her, because she said if he can't come, I don't know if I'm gonna get married. And she would have to go back to Paris and start the whole process over. She was saddened, and he was holding her and comforting her. He did a good job of comforting her, I think. She said he won't believe me anymore because, I promised him this, and now he's not even going to believe me because I broke this promise. And he reassures her that they will be happy. They'll have a happy life together. He just won't be at the wedding. And that's what I thought too. That's my feelings even before this episode. Before he said it, it was what I thought. They're going to have a good life up there once he's able to get there. But sadly, he's going to have to miss the wedding. He said we'll live stream the wedding for him, have a special seat to me. Well, let's just keep talking and I'll get to that. But He's kind of trying to ask her, please don't cancel the wedding after all we've done, and she says, okay, yes, I will marry you still. And they kind of have their little kiss, and they're both hoping that he can come soon to the US. So they're getting ready for this party. I guess it's a pre-wedding party. Mina and her sister, and they're putting up all of these 4th of July looking things. I assume it's 4th of July, and there's some like patriotic character figure, and the sister's like, who is this, Benjamin Franklin? He was like, no, it's Colonel Sanders. He was making a joke. I still don't know who that figure was, whatever they were, a historical figure. I don't know if it was Benjamin Franklin, but was he? I guess he was one of the founding fathers. Anyway, she still needs to break the news to Clayton. So the sister agrees with Mark that, hey, you probably need to do it now. Just get it over with, because the wedding's coming up too soon. Just tell him. So she's like, hey, how you doing, son? How's your day? He's like, just chilling. And she's like, oh, you're just chilling? And it was just funny how the way they were saying chilling. And I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it was cute. Their accents are really cute. And he's so cute. And yeah, I love their accents. But she kind of slowly kind of breaks it to him, and he cries a little bit. And he's like, do you miss me? I want to hug you. It was so heartfelt, and I was sad for both of them at the time. And I wasn't expecting him to cry as much as he cried. It wasn't like a big, deep cry, but it was enough of a cry to make your heart feel a little sad for the kid. And she said, don't forget I love you though, and we're gonna stream it, okay? And he's like, okay. And I'm like, all right, Mina, you broke the kid's heart. Give him his favorite toy, give him a treat, have it sent to, I think, what is it, Paris, London, wherever he lives. Why don't you have somebody like whatever relative he's staying with to go take him for a treat, boost him up and make him feel better. I mean, that would probably help the kid a bit. I know if I got a good treat after hearing some bad news, that kind of make me feel better. Anyway, she doesn't want him to resent her. She hopes that he doesn't at the end of the day and think that he was left for another man, like, hey, I chose this man over you. So she's hoping that that's not going to be in the back of his mind and his heart. And to be honest with you, that's something she should talk to him about. Because I think if I was a kid and, your parents said, oh, I'm sorry, and, you accept the apology, but then in the back of your head, you might be wondering, hey, is she choosing them over me? I would just tell them, I hope you don't feel that way. I want you to know that that's not what I'm doing. I don't have a choice in this situation. You're coming soon, son. And, sometimes you have to talk about those things and just be specific so that, because that could be something lingering in the back of my mind if that was a scenario I was in as a kid. Now let's go to Sean and Aaliyah, who's closing out with them. Sean's drama. He lectures Aaliyah. He's about to leave the venue. Aaliyah's standing up there, I think, with their friend Jackie, about to come down these large, long set of stairs. But he's like, you know what? I'm going to be out of here. You're so late. And it looks like he's about to leave his own wedding right now. But of course he's not. He's like, see you in 2 minutes though. After he lectures her and Jackie, like, I'm mad at both of them. Because I guess he could be kind of mad at Jackie because she's American and she knows the way things go. But the hour 45 minutes late, he was like, that's just too much. She should have been thoughtful enough about me because this is my big day too. You shouldn't just think about, oh, it's you. And of course the bride does get that leniency, but to me, I'm like, hey, Sean, you should have lied about the time. You already know Aaliyah be late for everything. You should have actually acted like it was way earlier than it was. I would have lied about the time. Just to her, tell everyone else, but tell them not to tell her the real time. And y'all would have been right on time. Jackie felt like he was lecturing her like a dad, and he was fussing, and he ruined their day. But sorry, that dress ruined the day for me. Leah came down the aisle, and Aaliyah, I'm sorry, the dress looked like you was wearing like a white Speedo. I'm sorry, under a sheer white dress. I was like, what am I seeing here? I'm sorry. Right now, Sean's like, hey, I feel like I'm just going through the motions here. The joy is no longer there as they do their quick vows. He's like, make it quick, do the vows real quick. Now let's get to the drinks. And Aaliyah's disappointed. Hey, but it's your fault, boo. Aaliyah's like, you should be able to go with the flow. He can't really go with the flow of the situation and make the best out of it. You know, that's just how he is. His love isn't bigger than his disappointment when it comes to this situation, because I've seen scenarios. I'm sure I've seen scenarios could be similar. Like, this person's real late, but it was worth it. She's such a beautiful bride. But no, he got jokes. I mean, after they were there, he's like, at the dinner party afterward, he's like, thanks everybody for coming. I don't have any big speech or anything, but I really do want to actually thank Aaliyah for actually coming as well, because I didn't know if you were even coming. And he's like, hey, why couldn't you come through for me, girl? Why couldn't you just come on time for our wedding? Is this going to be a forever type of scenario where Aaliyah is putting herself first? Can I continue this? But dude, you married her now. It's like, at this point, like, there's going back, but it's like, hey, if you had all these questions before, you should have just not married her. I mean, honestly, you're asking all these questions after you're married. So what's the point, really? For you to continue to be on 90 Day, for you guys to get divorced. I don't know. I feel like he's just kind of doing a favor to Aaliyah, like trying to help Aaliyah out, like kind of like one of his kids. I mean, he is in his 60s. Aaliyah's only 25 or something like that. And like, so of course it's gonna sound like he's lecturing his kid. All right, so that's how we end. I forgot they did get married. I'm sorry. There was 2 marriages. Just this one was not very happy as the last one, Greg and Joan. Sorry. But 2 people got married and one not so happily at this point. But Sean's I think he's gonna try to do his best to cater to Aaliyah, because I don't know if he feels like he doesn't have any more options, or he just feels a connection with Aaliyah. He doesn't feel like, hey, I don't feel like trying to find anyone else. I got me a young bride here. So like, I don't know why he's still in it, but he's still in it. So we're gonna see what happens with the other couples next time on 90 Day Fiance, where we talk here on CBiz Media, faith, love, and trends. Thoughts, comments, questions, drop them in the comments, or email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com. Check us out on our other platforms at cbiztvmedia.com. What are your thoughts, guys? All the best, and God bless.